open session. Item 3 of the agenda is the budget requirement and council tax for 24-25. To consider the report of the Chief Executive, Councillor Andrew Barry, please.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Budget requirement, council tax 24. Okay, legislation requires we set an integrated balanced budget through the MTFP, revenue capital plans authority for this year, and needs to be completed 11th of March. Our provisional settlement Welsh Government was announced on the 20th of December 2023, just 10 weeks ago, and Ellis, Liam and the team are to be congratulated for the sheer volume of work that they've had to get through to get to this point. The settlement was initially set at 3.4% or additional £4 million, and then an additional £500 was received on the 7th of February, taking our provisional local settlement to 3.7% or 4.5 million in addition. We have a budget requirement for the next financial year of 160.615 million for 24-25. If I bring Cabinet members to section 11, again to emphasise, it is the professional opinion of the section 151 officer that the proposed utilisation of earmarked reserves is the maximum amount without risking the financial stability of this authority. At Governance and Audit Committee on the 26th of February, the chair of the committee stressed the importance of heeding the advice of expert officers in these circumstances. On the 23rd of January 2024, the Schools Budget Forum met and the proposal to reduce schools funding was not approved. However, the methodology for that funding was approved. The detail of the individual schools budget funding restrictions is detailed between pages 19 and 44, Appendix 1. Council tax is at a proposed 8%. At council tax band A, the increase equates to £1.88 per week, with 84% of Merthyr properties being within bands A to C, or put another way, over 8 out of 10 people in Merthyr are in bands A to C. Council tax equates to around 23% of our overall funding requirement of that 160.615 million. The revised revenue budget for 24-25 can be seen and summarised at the table at 9.1, page 12, taking into account the savings proposals outlined at section 6 and detailed within the tables on pages 9 and 10. The proposed utilisation of earmarked reserves outlined at section 7 and the proposed council tax increase outlined at section 8. Chair, now take you to the proposed minimum revenue provision policy for 24-25 that is dealt with in section 10. This relates to how we provide for the cost of our debt in relation to our borrowing to support our capital expenditure. As an authority, although we have only received an increase to our revenue grant of 3.7%, we have increased the educational budget and social services budget by 4.5%. Both by 4.5%. This and the previous independent administration has been prudent with its use of reserves over the past 6 years. We have used these reserves and replenishing them whenever possible. Even last financial year, 22-23, placing £1.5 million back into the budget reserve to protect the residents of this authority as best we could from the economic turmoil that has surrounded us now for so long. The burden of balancing the budget has put a serious strain across our council services, and we have now come to the point where, having exhausted all options, must propose that increase of council tax to 8% to meet the shortfall. From registrars to education to help for pensioners, the ethos of the cradle to grave support to the social fabric of our society through local government is under threat. The financial support system from Westminster to Cardiff to Merthyr is broken. The recommendations Chair, are at 2.1 to 2.22. 2.1, the budget reduction of 1.988 million from individual schools' budgets be recommended to Council for approval. 2.2, the revised funding arrangements for LRBs be recommended to Council for approval. I'll miss 2.3 and go to 2.4. The proposal to reduce the young carers contract, Appendix 4, be recommended to Council for approval. 2.5, the proposal to reduce vacant staffing hours at T Barguide at Appendix 4 be recommended to Council for approval. 2.6, the proposal to remove vacant posts from within day services at Appendix 4 be recommended to Council for approval. 2.7, the proposal to reduce trainee social worker posts from 3 to 2, Appendix 4, be recommended to Council for approval. 2.8, the proposal to reduce available social services apprenticeships by 1 at Appendix 4 be recommended to Council for approval. 2.9, the proposal to change security arrangements at the Gartha Park at Appendix 8 be recommended to Council for approval. 2.10, the business case introducing a SAB design engineer post at Appendix 5 be recommended to Council for approval. 2.11, the business case introducing a street lighting electrician post, Appendix 6 be recommended to Council for approval. 2.12, the business case to increase waste FPNs, fixed penalty notices, at Appendix 7 be recommended to Council for approval. 2.13, the business case to reduce Contact magazine by 1 issue per year, outlined in Appendix 10, be recommended to Council for approval. 2.14, the business case to remove Help for Pensioners scheme, Appendix 11, be recommended to Council for approval. 2.15, the summary of all officer-led decisions detailed within the report be noted. 2.16, the utilisation of 2 million of the budget reserve be noted. At 2.17, the council tax increase of 8% for 2024-25, Band D, at £1,974.61 for the County Borough Council be recommended to Council for approval. 2.18, the budget requirement of 160.615 million for 2024-25 net revenue budget be recommended to Council for approval. 219, the minimum revenue provision statement for 24-25 as detailed in paragraph 10 be recommended to Council for approval. 2.20, increasing Lifeline weekly charge by 40%. Note, this includes the cost of a SIM card needed for the digital switchover, as set out in the non-inflationary increases in fees and charges 24-25 Council report presented on the 21st of February 2024, be recommended to Council for approval. 2.21, increasing all cemetery fees by an additional 3% above inflation, as set out in the non-inflationary increases of fees and charges 24-25 Council report presented on the 21st of February 2024, be recommended to Council for approval. 2.22, the Chief Finance Officer's comments relating to the robustness of the estimates and adequacy of reserves be noted. I move the state of the Council report, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Barry. So have we got a seconder for those recommendations?
Chair.
Okay, so Councillor Barry, if you'd like to, should we take a vote on those first and then?
No, I think if you move that one that Councillor Barry couldn't move, and then we'll deal with them all at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would have to leave.
So if we do,
Actually, you're right. Yes, if you do it separately, yeah.
We'll take a vote on these and then we'll
Yes,
do that one
and
last.
then do
Okay.
that one separately.
Okay.
Sorry, yes, you're right.
Okay. So before we go any further, any questions on the report? No? Any comments? Just a brief one for me. I think Councillor Barry summed up the situation very well at the end there. But I'd just like to thank for the hard work every office in this council has taken over the last 10 weeks, really, to set this budget. I think we all agree it's the most difficult one we've had to do in my tenure in the council. So can I just personally put on record, I'd like to thank you all for the diligent work that you've undertaken. Thank you. Okay then, so let's take those recommendations to the vote. Thank you. Okay. Let's give Councillor Barry a minute. Okay, so I believe Councillor Simmons, you've taken 2.3. Thank you. Wait if you make.
Okay. 2.3. The business case to consult on our approach to post-16 home to school transport, Appendix 2, be recommended to Council for approval. I move, Chair.
Thank you. For a second.
I second that, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes. Have you got any questions? No. Any comments? No. Let's take that on to the vote as well. Okay, there's no urgent business. So I think that closes the cabinet meeting.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks all.